John Bruna here with the Daily Quote. I do hope this day finds you well, that you're taking good care of yourselves and taking good care of those around you. I'm so grateful we have the opportunity to explore some of the wisdom that has helped me in my life, and I do hope that it helps you in your life. That's the whole point of the Daily Quote, is to extract some wisdom and to share it with others and see how we can improve our lives and hopefully the world around us. Let's go ahead, get to today's quote. Your living is determined not so much by what life brings to you as by the attitude you bring to life. Not so much by what happens to you as by the way your mind looks at what happens. That's from Khalil Gibran. A lot of wisdom in this quote, and you may have heard it in many different forms. But there's a fundamental truth there. That's why it shows up in so many different, wisdom traditions and just life advice. Sometimes it's misunderstood in the sense that I can just think happy thoughts and I'll be happy. That's not what this is saying. This is saying it's not the events themselves, it's how we relate to these events. What attitude do we bring to them? A very common way of putting this is the only difference between an obstacle and an opportunity is how we look at it, right? Are there things in our lives that are obstacles preventing us from doing what we want to do? Or are those things the opportunities to grow and become a more resilient person, more resourceful person? One of the quotes that I personally embrace is obstacles aren't in the way, they are the way to get to be the person I want to be. So that's just a different attitude around what we might perceive as obstacles. This idea of attitude is one in which we might be able to recognize that everything that is happening is an opportunity to improve ourselves, to gain opportunities for self-resilience and really some opportunities to understand ourselves, the world we live in. Yeah, that's true. We're not always there, so it's a hard one to maintain, but I think it's an important one to nurture and grow. Fundamental, simple things. I'll go with traffic. That's one of my favorites as well. Is sometimes we can be in a hurry and we're feel like we're stuck in traffic or on the road, stuck in traffic. And angry, frustrated, people are in my way. I need to get somewhere. I'm stuck in traffic. That's a very painful place to be. But what if instead we recognize we're not stuck in traffic, we are traffic, right? We are traffic, and all of us have somewhere to be, and we all are trying to get there safely. It's a very different mind to be traveling together with others, trying to be somewhere, being safe, and supporting each other in the journey, as opposed to a lot of people in my way, as though that's what they got up to get in my way. So changing this attitude to a more realistic attitude, not a Pollyanna attitude, but a realistic one. We're all trying to get somewhere. And then what if I attended to the fact, okay, I'm in traffic, I'm part of traffic, we're trying to get somewhere. What a gift it is to have a car, a vehicle, somewhere to go. And, maybe I can listen to some music or a podcast I've been wanting to listen to. Or maybe I can just, send some good thoughts to people around me. So this is the wisdom. It's the events can be difficult, right? We can get some very difficult news. There are things that are incredibly challenging and tragic. And so this doesn't mean they're not challenging or tragic. It means that even the tragic ones, the degree with which we suffer has a lot to do with how we attend to that news or that event. Is there something we can draw from it? So on a more, difficult level, a friend of mine's wife was diagnosed with cancer. They were, older, and she'd gone through it a few times, had gone into remission, it came back. And this is during COVID. And she just said, look, I'm not going through all those treatments again. I've had a good life. We've had a good life. they've been married, for over 4 decades, and he said, I just want to, live out this thing and be as happy as we can. And from his side, the fear of losing her, the bad news of this, even though she was taking it pretty well, was scary, terrifying. And he noticed that his fear of losing her, that his life of being without her was so scary and traumatizing to him that it was actually preventing him from enjoying the life he currently had with her while he had some time with her. And so he shifted his attitude. He recognized, yeah, I don't want to let my fear of losing her prevent me from living with her while I can and making good use of the time that we do have. And they spent a couple of years together and throughout the whole period of COVID. And he was literally with her as she passed and transitioned. And he made good use of the time he had with her. So today's quote provides so much to our life lessons. The mental and emotional suffering we have, there will be some, but we don't need to add to it. We can actually attend to it a little bit differently, a little more accurately, in ways that are much more supportive to the person we want to be, a life we want to live. Last one I'll leave you with is I think it's a great exercise. No one likes to wait that I've met. I haven't met, I don't know if there might be some people, but I just haven't met a person who likes to wait. You get that, oh, it's going to be an extra 10 minutes, or it's going to be an extra 20 minutes, or your flight's delayed, or you're at a doctor's appointment, he's run behind, please wait. There's a waiting room. And waiting is putting on hold, what I want to do so that there's a dissatisfaction as soon as we're waiting. We're kind of putting our life on hold until something happens. So I have this practice instead of ever waiting. What if I actually realized I don't have to wait? Somebody just gave me some free time. I finally have some free time. I work a lot, do a lot of things, life's very full. And now I have some free time. I have an extra 15 minutes or an extra 20 minutes. They're not robbing me of time. They just gave me time. And so instead of waiting, I can relax and make good use of some time I just had. Could take a little time to read, to meditate, to bring up maybe a podcast or something I want to do, call a friend. Bottom line is we don't have to wait. We can actually, whenever waiting comes up, ask a different question. How can I use this time that was just offered to me? Very different attitude, very different impact. So anyway, that's just a few examples of how this pithy advice from Khalil Gibran and has often been cited by many others and said in different ways, but is fundamentally true and incredibly helpful. So I hope you find this helpful. Thanks so much for all the good that you bring to the world. And if you'd like some more resources, come check us out at ameaningfullife.us. Got some online courses, retreats, and uh, hopefully some opportunities that you might find supportive.